Hey everybody, and welcome back to Virtual ADT. Today we got a neat project. We're making a heliograph and sunlight using diffusion. Um, it's the second part of our painting with scissors course. So we'll go ahead and get started. What you're going to need is a canvas, a foam brush, your liquid watercolor, a cup to put your liquid watercolor in, a bowl of water, construction paper, scissors, and gloves. I didn't forget the gloves this time. Alright, so we'll get started. What we're going to do is take our construction paper and cut it down to like easier pieces to cut into shapes. I like to normally cut it down to about 4 or 5 pieces. This time we're not going to be overlapping the shapes like we did on the last video. We're just going to be having one shape in one spot, so it really, you're going to kind of have to eye it and make sure that everything's going to fit. So, we'll cut this down to 6 pieces. Alright, so what we're going to do is cut out some funky little shapes like we did yesterday. And we'll just go ahead and get started there. Doesn't matter what you want to cut out. You can cut out any kind of shape you want. Like I said, I normally have been going with the nature motif, kind of trying to imitate the Henry Matisse's style of what he used. But you can literally cut any kind of shape out. It can be stars, hearts, whatever you want to do. So we'll cut out some shapes. I've already got some pre-cut, so I'll go ahead and skip to the next step. But once you get your shapes all cut out and put to the side, you're going to want to kind of eye it. So we'll just do like a little mock-up of how we want to put the shapes on here so we have an idea when we get to that part. So I kind of set mine out like this and just kind of remember where everything went. Then you'll put it back to the side so that way when it comes down to it we can just put it right back where it was. Alright, so the first step is going to be getting our canvas a little wet. So we're going to take our foam brush and we're going to dip it in the water. It doesn't have to be soaking wet, it just needs to be a little bit damp on there. Alright, now that we got our water on, we're going to take our cup that we're going to put our liquid watercolor in, open it up, and it normally takes about 2 or 3 droppers to cover the canvas. So I did about 3. That way you don't have to use all your liquid watercolor. It just doesn't take a whole lot for it to do. We're going to dip our foam brush into the liquid watercolor and we're just going to go across the whole thing. It doesn't take a whole heck of a lot, but we're just going to cover it up best we can. Alright, now once we've got our canvas covered, we're going to take our bowl of water and our paper shapes that we cut out. And before we do that, I did almost forget the gloves. We're going to put gloves on real quick. Alright, now that we got our gloves on, we're going to take the paper shapes that we cut out and we're just going to not drop them on our canvas. we'll come back to that. Let me fix that real quick. Sometimes you mess up, sometimes you gotta roll with it. All right. So we're gonna take our shapes that we didn't just drop on the liquid watercolor, and we're going to dip them in the water and get them a little wet and kind of wring them out a little bit, because if you get droplets on here, it's going to space out everywhere. And we're going to gently lay it down where we want it and just kind of smooth it out with our fingers. So that way it's all touching the canvas. So we're going to do that with all our pieces. Just get them a little wet, wring them out a little bit, just let them drip off a little bit. And then place it down and just smooth it out. Make sure all of the pieces are touching the canvas best we can. And we're just going to continue this process until we've done all our shapes. Now that we have all our wet shapes put on here, we're going to go set this out in the sun for about an hour. It should be dry by then. So what's going to happen is that the canvas is going to get, like the unexposed parts of the canvas, or rather the exposed parts of the canvas, sorry. The exposed parts of the canvas are going to get drier faster, causing the water to seep out of the shapes and pull the ink out from under it, which is called diffusion. Get you a little science with some art. So we're going to set this out in the sun for about an hour. You can use artificial light as well if you want to just do it inside. It'll just dry faster outside. But the same effect will happen if you do put under a light and it dries. So I've got a finished one here of what it will look like when it's done and dry. And then you take, when it's dry, you'll take the pieces of construction paper off and you'll be left with something like this. It's pretty neat. So hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.